Hi everybody! This is going to be a long video. This is going to be my favorite books of the year. I narrowed it down to 13 even though there's a tie for first place, so technically 14. And both of the books are the second one in the series, so I want to mention the first one in the series as well. So yeah, so this is going to be a very long video, so be prepared. Pause it if you want to. Go get you something to drink. You know the deal. I got me some Lipton iced tea peach flavored because I'm going to need it. Because I'm going to be talking a lot. So yeah. The first three are going to be in no particular order. And probably like once we get to the top 10, the first like 2 or 3 in the top 10 is probably really no in particular order. It could be basically any of the 3 books. So yeah, but once we get like to the top 7, like that's, yeah, top 5 to 7, that's changeable. Those are like stick. Yeah, they're the stick. Okay. So let's get started on this. The first one, like I said, the first 3 are definitely in no order. I just couldn't narrow it down to 10. Because these 3, like, and I couldn't, like, I did a video, in case you guys didn't see it down below, where I did honorable mentions. These were too good for me personally to put in the honorable mention. They had to be in there somewhere, so I made a top 13. Well, technically, like I said, a top 14, because I couldn't decide between the 2 that were absolutely my favorite series. And actually, one of the ones that are in my series, I still have another book that's already came out this year that I haven't read yet. That I'm going to read this year because I'm waiting. This coming year because I'm waiting for, you know, the final one. Hopefully it'll be the final one to get released this year. So, yeah. Alright. The first book, let's get down to this. The first book is Everlist by Sarah Holland. Time is a prison. She is the key. This is the one, like I was saying, like where your blood has, like, I guess it has magic or something in it. I guess they're magic or something. I'm not exactly sure how you explain it. But there's blood. The blood, like, gives other people, like, more time on their lives. And you lose time on your life. The people that are giving the blood to the other people, yeah. That's how they pay for certain things. Like, if they're behind on bills or something, they have to give their blood to sell so many months worth, you know. Yeah. I'm not going to like go into big detail on these because, you know, we'll be here 5 hours, but I will say this is kind of a very slow start to this book. But once you get like to the last 100, 150 pages, wow. I liked the characters pretty much. There was, you know, they weren't like, oh my god, this is exciting, you know. The most exciting characters, in other words, but they were good characters. One of the people that I started out not liking became one of my favorite characters, probably is my favorite character, and I'm hoping we hear more about that person in the next book, which I should be getting on Monday, yay! But anyways, yeah. So yeah, this is number 13. But like I said, it could be number 12, it could be number 11, you know, just not into the top 10. And then we got Kirsten White, her last one in the thing. I don't have the other 2 books. I only read them through ebooks. But this is the third one, Bright We Burn. The first one is Anti-Darken. The second is, I forget what the second one is, but the first one is Anti-Darken. The second one is Now I Rise, it says on the back. And this is, you know, the daughter, she's supposed to be the daughter of Vlad, how do you say his name? I forget how you say the name. I don't even say it. I don't even know if they tell you on, you know, they don't tell you on here. But Vlad the Vacuum, how do you say his name? You know what I'm talking about. I just can't pronounce his name. Anyways, she's supposed to be the daughter, so it's supposed to be basically like what would happen if she basically whirled, or was trying to whirl, you know. And the first book I only gave 3.5 stars. The second book was actually my favorite, but I don't think I read it this year. I think I read it last year. so I didn't put it there. But yeah, I did. That one was probably my favorite out of the three, but this one was really good. I wish it would have ended a little bit different. That's the only reason why I like it as strong as some of these other ones that I'm going to mention in my top 10. It just needed to wrap up a little bit more. I didn't like Mahad, or how do you say his name? The love interest. I didn't see what Radu, who had a crush on him was in love with him for a while. I don't see like why he would have a thing for this Mahad, or however you say it. And I don't even understand why Lada, how do you say her name? I didn't understand why she had a thing for him. I think if it would have just been her and her brother and maybe someone else, I would have liked it more. I just did not like Mahad, however you say his name, Mahud, however you say it. Couldn't stand him at all. And I didn't like the ending. I wish the ending would have been just a little bit better in regards to what happened to Lada. That's what I'm going to say. I don't want to say what happened to her, but in regards to what happened to her, yeah. Definitely. But it was a good book. I definitely recommend it. Even though, like I said, Anti Darken wasn't my favorite. But the second one is awesome. Now I Rise. So, yeah. And I actually have both of them now. I forgot I do have them on my shelf. I could have brought them in. I just remembered I got the UK edition of 2 of them. I don't think I got it for the third one. I can't remember if I got it for the third one. We'll see. For the life of me, I can't remember. But I might have all 3 of them. But I know I have the first 2. But it's the UK version with the, different version, different cover. But yeah, I like this cover. Isn't it beautiful? I liked it. But yeah, I really like that one. And the next one is the second book in the series. Most of these are like second or third in the series. There's some that are standalone or a gigantic series or just a start of a series. But yeah. But most of these are like series that are still going on. One is of a book. 2 are books that are already, 3 are from books that are already done when you count this one. But there's a couple other ones that are on here that are already done. But yeah, Nyxia Unleashed. This one I was like, kind of wanted to put it in, like tied with top 10 with what was number 10. But yeah, this one, I'm not good at explaining what it was about. But the first one's called Nyxia, if you want to look it up. It was really good. I want to buy a copy of it because I don't have it. Because I would love to get it and annotate it. As you can tell, I started annotating this, but I was too involved in it, and then I quit tabbing it. And that's a good thing sometimes. That means sometimes when I tab it, and there ain't that many, it's because I'm so involved. And sometimes, even if I love the book, and I tab it like crazy, it's still good. But, like, if there's only, like, 1 or 2, then that means I'm not really liking the book at all. But this one was, like, you could tell, like, I started out really strong with them, and then I quit. That's because I was so involved in the book that I really, really loved it. I did, like, underline a lot of stuff, as you can see right here. I underlined stuff. I really loved how this ended. This book, I wish I could have had the first one so I could explain what it's about. But, oh my gosh, it is so good. You guys gotta look the first one up if you haven't read the series yet. Because this is like one of my favorite series, I think it's gonna be. Even though it's so like high up, it ain't like lower, you know what I mean? Like the best of the best. Like the top 10. But I think if some of these other ones weren't so strong, that this one would have made the top 10 without any problem. Just that the one I'm getting ready to talk about, I just loved the whole series. And it finished up the series. This one ain't done yet, so it might have been higher if it was the last book in the series. Who knows? I guess we'll find out if the next one that comes out is the last one. But I really love Emmett. And then there's another person I like, and I can't think of the person's name. But there's like 2 or 3 people I really like. And I like that he has a love interest in the book, but it's not like the main focus of the book. Yeah, it just didn't quite make the top 10, but it still had to be one of my favorites of the year. It couldn't be just an honorable mention, because this was better than than the ones I did the honorable mention to of. At least to me it was. So yeah. Okay, now we're getting into the top 10. So at number 10, the last one in the Lumine files, Obsidio. Actually, out of the 3 books, this was my least favorite, but it was still a really good ending. It was a strong ending. Illumine was probably my favorite. No, probably Illumine and Gemini, or Gemini, however you say it, were tied. But this one was still like a really good ending. I just wasn't as invested in the main characters, but I love that our other characters were in it. Especially, man, why do I always forget their names? They're my favorite of the group, and I always forget. Caddy? Yeah, Caddy, however you say her name. And, what's his name? Man, I always forget his name, and it's like one of my favorite names. The one that Katie's with. I cannot think of his name. And like, it's one of my, you guys, it's like one of my favorite names. Like, yeah. It's one of my favorite names, and I can, Ezra? Yeah, Ezra. Oh my gosh. I was so glad that Ezra was in the book again. You know, and we got to see Katie, and Hannah, and I forget what his name was. Hannah's guy. I always forget his name. Maybe Rice? I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong. Because I always forget names. I suck at names. But yeah, I liked him. Oh, Nikolai, isn't it? Nikolai, maybe? Is that what his name is? The one that she's with? I think it's Nikolai. I think the new guy is Rice. Yeah, the new guy's Rice. Okay. Nikolai or however you say his name is the one that Hannah's with. But those 4 characters are my favorite, and I love that Adian was back in this book. The AI, because, oh my gosh, was he something else? I know he's supposed to be kind of like a bad person, or a bad AI, but really you understand why he did what he did in the first book. So yeah. The only reason, like I said, the only reason why this wasn't higher up is because I like the other ones more. That's all there is to it. Just preferences on a lot of these books. Until we get to a certain amount, and then I'll tell you why I really liked them. But yeah, this one was just the weakest out of the 3, but it was still one of my favorite, and it had to make the top 10. So it was number 10. The next one is in a long series. The author's real name is Nora Roberts, but her pen name is J.D. Robe. And this is like the 48th, 46th, 48th something book. I don't remember how many books there's been. There's been so many books in this series. Like, gosh, you guys. Too many. Like, too many books. And I could be here all day, like, naming the books that are in here. But I'm not going to. But, yeah. There are so many books in this. And Eve, it's in the future. Eve is a cop. And she's married to this real sexy and charming and the richest guy, and you know, he can buy basically anybody if he wants to. Yeah. And she's a cop, like I said. I just love her. She's like a badass, you know. I love Rorik. I love all the side characters like Peabody and McNabb and Charles, and there's so many. Why do I always forget her best friend's name? Mavis, Leonardo. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's weird because I didn't think I would like this book. The first book, which is Naked in Death, I believe. I think the first book is Naked in Death. Yeah, Naked in Death is the first one. And oh my gosh, I didn't think I was going to like it. Naked in Death and Glory in Death, my sister Carolyn bought. And she could not get into it, and she gave it to me. And oh my gosh, you guys. I was in love, like, almost from the beginning. As soon as Rorik showed up, And everything that happened in that first book, I mean, oh my gosh, that book was violent. This series is very violent. There's a lot of, like, she ain't afraid, like, to, like, hurt the main characters or the ones I consider, like, side characters, but they're main side characters, if you know what I mean. Like, they're very strong people in the cast, you know. But this one was, this guy goes to his meeting. He has, like, this meeting, and he has a bomb to his chest, and he blows up the area and the area. He makes it go off, you know, the bomb in his vest. And people that are around him all got killed. He got killed, of course. And then as Eve is looking into it, she finds out that he was coerced, how do you say that word? That if he didn't blow the, this ain't a spoiler because it happens at the very beginning. If he didn't go in and blow up do that to the meeting and stuff, then they had his wife and kid, and they were going to kill the wife and kid So he had to choose between his wife and kids or the people that would be close to the bomb. Because the bomb wasn't meant for, like, a big target, just for people that are, like, in a certain vicinity, how is that word? But, like, these people, the people that did it were so sick. It was so sad. I mean, what would you do? This is what that book asks, is, like, what would you do? Would you choose your wife and kid over, like, how many other people would die in it and yourself? You know, what would you do in that kind of situation? That would be a hard situation. I don't know what I would do in something like that. So that's why I like this so much. I know it's only number 9 out of the top 10. But, oh my gosh, it was like, Warwick and Eve are like, just, like, my heart and soul. I mean, I just love their books so freaking much. And this one just was like, had me, like, going through it. I was like going nuts. There's a lot of green, which are my favorite quotes. Pinks, which is like romance and sex and things like that. And yeah, there's a lot of good things on here. There's a lot of sadness, of course, because of people dying and things like that. And there's, you know, things that are really like favorite passages that have to do with, you know, Warwick and Eve, or Warwick and one of her, you know, like her partner, Dee Dee, or Peabody, that's what they call her. Yeah, and things like that. Just things like that I loved. You know. So, yeah, you can tell I love this. Like, look. I wasn't annotating during some of these, so that's why this doesn't have any annotation. Because I wasn't annotating, but this one, yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was just in love in this book. I just, like, love them so much. And it had to be in my top 10. It had to be in my top 10. So that's number 9. Now we are going on to 8. And this one is one of the books that surprised me, because I'm not like a contemporary and things like that. I like fantasy and sci-fi. And this one is not fantasy or sci-fi. Or cop. You know, like that. I love that series. I love cops. I like the future. You know, things like that. This one is just a normal, everyday. And that's History Is All You Left Me by Adam Severa. Oh, this is the only book I've read by him so far. But I want to buy, They Both Die at the End, to see how I like that. And I want to buy a couple of the other ones. But this one, like, really surprised me, because I bought it just because I wanted to try one of his books. And I saw other booktubers reading it, and they really liked it. And I was like, oh my gosh. I always forget his name. Griffin. Griffin's ex-boyfriend dies. I mean, he doesn't get killed. He just dies. He doesn't get murdered or anything. But anyways, he dies. And, you know, Griffin always thought that he was going to get back with him eventually. but he was dating this other guy called, named I just said Griffin. Jackson. And he doesn't think him and Jackson are going to like each other, you know. At first they don't. They can't stand each other at first, but then they start liking each other. But not that kind of way. More like for moral support than anything else. There's no like, you know, like, I mean, they do stuff, but it's not like they're going to be together, you know what I mean? Like it's, or at least they didn't start out that way. I don't know. I can't explain it, but this thing making me cry so hard. And I love their friend, Theo's I didn't really care for Theo from what I read about him before he died, you know, because it went from past to present. Like when they first started met and first started dating and stuff. But I liked his one friend his and Theo's friend. Let me tell you. I'll tell you what his name is. I always forget. Wade. I loved Wade, which is, like I said, Theo and why do I always forget his name? Griffin's friend. He was like one of my favorite characters in the series. I mean, not series, in the book. Griffin, of course, was, you know, he was good. I really liked Griffin. I liked how human he was. I loved, like, they had, like, Harry Potter references in this book. They had, I think it was Star Wars references in this book. One of my favorite things about Griffin and Theo is that Griffin liked the Harry Potter and Theo liked the Star Wars, and they would like, who's better this, who's better that, you know, and things like that. It was just so funny. That's the only time I really liked Theo. I thought Theo wanted his cake and to eat it too, however you say it. From what, even though, you know, we don't really get his point of view, but what we hear about him and stuff, I just felt like if he could, he would have like kept, like, you know, he would have kept Griffin and Jackson. Jackson was okay, like I said. He wasn't my favorite character, but he wasn't a bad character. He was just there. But like I said, his friend, Wade, I just loved. Yeah, I just really, really loved Wade. And this book made me cry, and it made me think. I was like, oh my gosh, that's what happened. Oh, I feel so bad for him and stuff, you know? Like, things that he went through in this book. He was, what is it, like OC? Is that what it is? Like when you have to have everything a certain way? And he, like, had to have, like, everything in an even number. It couldn't be odd. Like, if Theo kissed him, he had to kiss him like 4 times, not 3 times. He would have to like try to get Theo to give him that other kiss and things like that. So yeah. What number was that? 7? Or 8? That was 8, right? Wait a minute. 10, 9, 8. Yeah. Number 7. I know this is an old book, but this is the first time I read it. Vicious by Ivy E. Suave. I've never read the other one yet. Vengeful. I do have it. I'm planning on reading it next year. But this one, I freaking loved. I did not like Eli, but I love Victor. Oh, Victor. I didn't think I was going to like this book because I don't like usually villains. I have to have people to root for. But out of the 2 guys that were bad, I rooted more for Victor than I did Eli. I did not like Eli at all. In case you didn't know what this is, they dabble in stuff to try to be where they can't die, you know, or whatever. Basically, something happens and they both wind up dying, making themselves die, basically, and then they do it in a certain way, and then when they bring each other back, or when, you know, how they get brought back and stuff, they get certain kind of power or something like that they can do. And then Eli wants to go around killing everybody extraordinaries, I guess is what he calls them, or whatever it is. But anybody with a special thing, he wants to go around and kill. Because he thinks that he's God, basically. Or he's God's instrument. He thinks everybody else that has these powers, these certain powers, came back and had these certain powers, are bad. And they need to be like killed. You know what I mean? But not him, because he's the instrument. He was brought back to get, to get these people off the earth, basically. So yeah, definitely number 7. Yeah, I am like getting myself like, boop, 10, 9, 8, yeah, 7. Okay, 6. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This one and the next one that I'm going to talk about, number 5, I was like, and 4. Yeah. These next 3, like, I was like, okay, they could be any order. But the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, just like History's All You Left Me, surprised me. I did not think I was going to like the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but oh my gosh. When I was done with this book, I had tears coming all out of my eyes. I had makeup on like I do now. My eyes shat. I mean, I was like rubbing my eyes because I was crying so bad. So I had black all over my face, or blue, whatever color I was wearing that day. And yeah, it just made me cry. I wanted like to not put it down. I wanted to keep reading to see like who she was in love with, even though they gave that out pretty much, who she was in love with. But yeah, I wanted to know why she picked, what is her name again? I always forget the other girl's name. Evelyn. I wondered why she picked Evelyn. I knew that there was a reason that she picked Evelyn. I didn't know what it was, but I wanted to know, so I kept going, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that when I found out what it was. But I'm not going to say what it was, because spoiler. But I'll probably do a review of this, but I loved it, you guys. Look. There's a lot of pink. And there's some reds, because of, of course, some of her husbands die. I mean, that's, she was married 7 times, So, there's some oranges and some, I don't even remember what I was using for orange and yellow. I'm always changing my mind on orange and yellow. Orange is trigger warnings. Yellow is upsetting things. But I think I accidentally, like, when I was doing the thing, I accidentally put yellow and where the orange was, for what orange was supposed to be, and orange for what yellow was supposed to be. But yeah, I loved it. I didn't really write in it, but like, like thoughts or anything, but I did underline, as you can see. I did write sometimes, like, I put down husband number 3 when it went to the husband number 3. And then I put a little something about him. I don't know if I did, like, put anything for all of them. Husband 5. And I put down that was the husband I loved the most. And why I liked the person so much. And so on. So I did write a little bit in it. But that was number 6. Yeah, number 6. I'm over here counting, you guys. Like, okay, number 5. Lifelike by J. Kristoff. This one and number 3, I was so torn on. I was like, oh my gosh, which one am I going to put higher and which one's going to be lower? And I thought at first this one was going to be because of the ending, but this other book, like, just was better to me. So, Lifelike. Oh my gosh. She finds the ship, of course, and things happen, and the ending, you find out something that some people said they knew. They figured it out, but I was like floored when I read the ending. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, and there was some neat fighting scenes in this. The bad guys were actually, like, really good bad guys. It had a lot of action, adventure. I mean, this book was so much fun. Very surprising. I love J. Kristoff so freaking much. I love him. So yes, that had to be in the top 5, you guys. It had to be. I loved it, and I cannot wait for the next one. I forgot what it's called, but I can't wait for it. I think it comes out like in April or May, and yeah, I'm definitely going to continue on. I cannot wait to see if I'm going to like this series more, or if I'm going to like the, you know, Illuminae files more with him and Amy. I don't know, but we shall see. But I cannot wait to read the next one to see what happens after that mind-boggling ending. I'm trying to hurry up because this is already 30 minutes and I still got 4, 3, 2, and my tied for number 1. Okay, coming in at number 4. The last one in the Throne of Glass series, Kingdom of freaking Ash. It had to be in here. I think if 2 and 3 just didn't blow me away a little bit more, it would have been in the top 3. But, oh my gosh. The ending. I just thought this was the best ending for me. I know some people didn't like the ending, but I loved it. I am so glad she ended it the way she did. I even liked Cal a lot in this one. Rowan, who is my least favorite of the guys, I liked a lot more in this one. I felt bad for him. Of course, this one isn't annotated because I was using my hardback copy that I got. So my hardback one is annotated, but this one is not annotated. But when I do a reread, like I'm doing now because I'm reading Heir of Fire soon, I'm going to be annotating this one for I can have a fresh, clear, thing of what I want to, annotate and see if I annotate the same parts or don't. But I loved it. I loved, how it ended. I liked Dorian's ending. I liked Cal's ending. I liked Elena's ending. I liked everybody's ending. But it made me cry. This is another one. Most of these books made me cry or made me, gasp or surprised the hell out of me. This one definitely did. For a while, I wasn't liking Elena. Alina, how do you say her name was? After book 4, I didn't like her very much. In 5, I didn't like her hardly at all in 5. And at the beginning, I didn't even like her all that much in 3, to be perfectly honest. 4, I started liking her a little bit more. Then, like I said, 5, I couldn't stand her again. But yeah, I cried a lot in this book, especially all that she had to go through in this, endure, how do you say that word in this? Endure in this book. I mean, oh my gosh. If I had my copy, you would be able to see my other copy. You would be able to see how annotated it was, but it was filled with annotation. So this had to be in the top 5. So came in at 4. Coming in at number 3, and the first book I've ever read by this author, but definitely not my last, Brandon Sanderson, Skyward. Her father is branded a coward, was shot down, killed, and she wants to be able to fly. They let her do flight school, but they basically tell her she'll never be able to fly, but she could go to the school anyways. And she finds something, and, well, she finds this other, I don't know if it tells you on here. She finds something in the cavern. Basically, if you went and did my wrap up, I told you the name of what the thing was that she found in the cavern. But I love the person or the thing. You'll know what it is. It's either a person or an AI that she finds. I love that person so much. I laughed so hard. Look at this. I know it don't look like it's a lot compared to some of my other tabs, but I loved it. I mean, oh my gosh, you guys, this cracked me up. Look, I underlined. Yeah, I underlined this book a lot. The last, little bit I didn't underline because I was just wanted to read the book so bad. I wanted to finish it to see how it was going to end. I wrote in it, right here, I put too freaking funny. You can't see it because I used my marker, but I wrote in it. Yeah, I just love this book. And the ending was awesome. I can't wait to see what happens next. I don't know if the next one's going to be centered around her or one of the other characters. I'm hoping it's around her because of the way it ended, but some people were saying that they heard that it was going to be with someone else, so I'm not sure, but we shall find out. But I loved it. It just kept me going. I was gasping. The next one was another surprise. Number 3. And this, actually this is number 2. What am I saying? Skyward was number 3. Number 2, sorry. This would have been number 1 if the other 2 weren't so strong. Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. This book, like, really surprised me because I don't like books where, you know, I know I'm like square and everything, but I like books where there's, if the guy's gay, that's fine. You know, and he's in love with that person, but I hate I usually hate books or just can't get into books. I shouldn't say hate because that's a strong word, but usually I can't get into books where like it feels like they're having like an affair and they, you know, they're fine with that and stuff like this. You know, but this one, I could handle it. I thought it was like, you know, for the plot and everything, that it worked good. I loved both of the guys. I don't know who I would have wanted her with. The only thing that I didn't like about this book was the ending. I thought it was a little strange. And even though the whole book was strange, I wanted the ending to be a little more tied up. But other than that, I mean, oh my gosh. This was like great. It was kind of creepy. Like, yeah. They made what is it called? They made a deal with the devil, basically. And they're supposed to, like, each, what is it? Whenever the slaughter moon, I think that's what it's called, yeah, rises, they have to sacrifice one of the guys in the book. Certain guys, not all the guys. And all this craziness ensures, and yeah, it was just like, and in this book, what's his name? Arthur, for a long time, thought he was a girl. That's what his parents didn't want him to be, like, have a chance of, like, being a sacrifice. So the mother wanted to protect him and not let him, you know, what you call it. So she even made him think that he was a girl and stuff, and made him live like a girl and everything. And then he finds out, so he's all confused, you know. But he wants to be the one that can be sacrificed and everything. And what's his name? Rum, R-H-U-M, is the one that's supposed to be the sacrifice. And all this strange stuff happens. And what's her name? The girl. I always forget the girl's name. Merwin. She just like, yeah. She was like I think the guys really, they loved her, don't get me wrong, but I think the guys were more in love with each other. But they also were in love with her, and she was in love with both of them. I know that it might not, like, appeal to everybody. And like I said, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I heard, oh, Spence. This is one of, Spencer. Common Spence. This is one of his favorite books. He mentioned it, how much he loved it, and I was like, okay, if Spence loves it, I got to give it a chance. I just got to see. And I was blown away how much I loved it. I was blown away. And for a while, I thought this was going to be number 1. But I had to put these next 2 as number 1s. First, we'll talk about this one. An Ember in the Ashes and a Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahara, however her name is. Of course, I have a Reaper at the Gate as well, but I haven't read it yet because I wanted to reread these and annotate them. So I'm going to reread and annotate these. I'm going to read this one in January, annotate it. This one in February, annotate it. March, the next one, and annotate it. And then when the other one comes out, I'm going to annotate it. Yeah. I am so excited to annotate these. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love this series. I love Ellis. I love, why do I always forget her name? I'm not good at remembering girls' names. I'm much better at, like, remembering the guys' names in this for some reason. But Leia. Loved her. Can't stand Helena. I know a lot of people love Helena. Me, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll like her later. Who knows, but I can't stand her right now. But yeah, there's so much violence in this book. I mean, Layla goes through so much because, you know, some of her family member gets killed. Her brother gets taken. Yeah, so much stuff happens. She wants to save her brother, so she has to go, you know, on the run. I mean, not on the run. She's got to pretend like she's a slave to be a spy for this other rebel group. Because they said they'll help her find her brother if she does. And all this crazy stuff happens. And Ellis and Helena have to, like, do these certain things. His mother is a bitch. He goes through so much hell. He wants to, like, escape, you know, like, take off. But, of course, he doesn't because someone talks him into staying. And so much stuff happens to him in these books. The second book, like, blew my mind. I cannot wait to annotate. Can't wait to read them. You guys got to read it if you haven't read them yet. Give it a chance. If you don't like this one, give it a chance because this one is awesome. Yeah, you guys just got to give it a chance. I mean, this had to be tied for the next one that I'm about ready to talk to. And no one should be surprised at all about the one that I'm about to talk about. Because I talk about them all the time. And I don't know when the next one's going to be out. But it better be out soon. And that is Scythe Thunderhead by Neil Susterman. Tabs, of course. Look at the tabs. Beautiful, aren't they? Oh my gosh, you guys. This world, no one could die. There's no diseases and stuff like that. So they have these people that are called Scythe. And they're allowed to basically glean certain people. They each have their own methods. There ain't no certain method, really. They just decide on their own how they're going to go about killing the people. And Rowan and Citra are both apprentices. One of them is going to become a Scythe apprentice. And the other one supposedly is supposed to go home. But then, of course, and, you know, just go back to their life after if they don't get picked. But then they find something changes. And it's basically, not a spoiler, but something changes. And you find out that the other one is going to wind up dying. That the one that wins has to glean the other one. Rowan goes through so much freaking crap in the first book. Oh my gosh. But then again, the next book he goes through a lot of crap. The next book better be out pretty soon. I think it's supposed to be told unless they changed it. My gosh, you guys. This book, I loved. Love, love, love. But this book, hands down, like, surprised me. Oh my gosh. Like, that ending, like, almost killed me. The ending on here. Oh my gosh. Like, what Rowan goes through in this book is, like, crazy. Things happened to Citra finally, because she didn't really go through a lot in the first book, Citra. To me, she was kind of boring. I didn't hate her, but I just thought she was pretty boring. But this one, I freaking loved her. I liked how she chose to glean, whatever you want to call the people. I loved her arch in this one. I just thought she was awesome. She wasn't boring. She wasn't so whiny. I thought in this book she was kind of whiny. I just didn't like her that much. Rowan, I've always loved. And then they brought in a new character. Oh my gosh. I loved, like, the Thunderhead moments. Like, these are the ones that basically set the laws. But they can't interfere with certain things. Like, they can't, like, interfere with the Scythe. Why people are alive. But say they're gleaned. Not gleaned, but, like, you know, like, they die, but then they come back, you know, like, they're in between. He can talk to them then. Yeah. I mean, his, like, his parts were very, or the thinking of them, whatever you want to say, was very, like, interesting. Like, I loved it. Like, I didn't tab them all, but I, like, put yellow, underlying certain things that I really liked or thought was interesting. Things like that the Thunderhead said. I did the same thing in the Scythe Thumb, like, when, like, certain people were, like, writing in their, like, journals, because they had to, like, write their thoughts and things in their journals. I thought that was pretty interesting. But this one, oh my gosh. Yeah, this was really, really, like, oh my gosh, that ending, like, blew my mind. I wanted, not because I hated the book, but I wanted to throw it across the room because of that ending. I wanted to, like, no, why did you do this to me? Why did you end on such a freaking cliffhanger? I wish I could tell you what the cliffhanger was. But, oh my gosh, I did not see this coming at all. And like I said, what happens to Rowan in this book? Like, yeah. He really goes through hell in this book. Hell, hell, hell. But he never gives up. That's what I love about him. He doesn't give up. He might, like, for a few minutes, like, get sad and down and might want to give up, but then he gets right back up and he goes, you know. He does not let them keep him down for long. And that's what I love about Rowan. But Citra grew so much from Scythe to Thunderhead. So much. And I cannot wait to see what happens next. With her, with Rowan, with the new guy. Yeah. Those three, like, I was, like, on tip of toes. Like, I love Citra, don't get me wrong, like I said. But the two guys, like Rowan and the other guy, just stole the show. Even though I liked Citra a lot better in this one. But yeah, those are my 13. Did you guys like any of the 13 I mentioned? Did you hate any of the 13 I mentioned? What were some of your favorite books? Yeah, does any of these maybe you haven't read? Or you were on the bubble of reading and after I talked about them? Or screamed about them? Or anything? Make you want to read them now? Let me know in the comments. I love you guys all so much. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more videos unless tomorrow when we go out I buy stuff and I want to show you guys anything. But otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to do a video anymore this month. It's almost over with. I might just take the next few days and just relax. Or I might do like a reading update if I decide to read anything. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. I love you guys all. I can't wait to see everybody else's that are going to have their favorites, least favorites. I can't wait to see whose my favorites were some people's least favorites. Which some people liked as many as I did. Which ones I hated or were disappointed in that other people loved and why they loved it. So yeah. I hope you guys all have a good day. And if I don't talk to you before, I will see you in the new year. But most likely, I'm sure I will be on because I like the video. But yeah, they won't be as long as this one. This one's almost 50 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. Remember, if you ever need me, if you ever want to talk, down in the comments, I will talk with you guys. If you ever want to buddy read it when I do a haul or something, or when I do an unboxing and you see a book in the unboxing that sounds like it might be interesting. If you ever want to buddy read them with me, let me know. I am always down for buddy reading. I love you guys all so much. I'm so glad that I have you guys following me. And I'm so glad that I found all of you guys to follow. And yeah, I just love you guys all so much. And I'm going to let you guys go. Remember, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. And if you do subscribe, remember to hit the bell icon so you'll know whenever a video of mine is being up. Or it's up. And I will talk to you guys either tomorrow or later in the beginning of the year. Bye!